Hey guys, welcome back to another video in our mini series of driving mistakes video analysis. We're here back in Lonato trying to look at some of the mistakes, not only in terms of driving but also with the overtakes. Let's get started so we can see. So here we start with a very big mistake. Why? There's too much steering input here. You know, we have to make double apex in this corner, but there's for some reason way too much input on the steering. And because of that, we completely go sideways here, which is obviously very costly. Almost a complete spin. Actually good skills for catching, so well done for that. But if you look at the time loss in this corner, if this was qualifying, that would be like 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds. Completely stopped. That was big time loss. So if you ask me what I would have done in that corner, I would have simply kept the steering a lot smoother, tried to give less inputs, you know, an ability that good drivers have, that hopefully you will develop or you already have developed for yourself, is the smoothness with the steering, especially with lower speed, like with lower torque categories like mini, juniors. It's very important to be smooth with the steering. With KZs, you can be a little bit dirty and it's gonna be fine because you have the engine, even though you will always want to be smooth in there, but ideally you're gonna be super smooth in mini and juniors because you have basically little power, and if you do abrupt movements with the steering, then you have to correct back and you're basically killing the momentum. Here we're lifting for some reason, which was completely bad. And also have a look here where you're supposed to be here on the end of the red, beginning of the black, but we're here. So it will end up using a bit of the track in the end, but it's not giving any benefit. You should have used the track earlier on, okay? Because if you use the track early on, it means he's really pushing and he's flat and he's pushing like crazy, but here he's not pushing so much in my opinion, and he's giving up a lot of time in this corner. All right, let's go back. You see he ends up using the track, but it's too late. It's one of my point being is that you should be, look, you should be using the track already here. You should be, because think about it, the earlier you are onto the curb, so the earlier you are wide into the exit, it means unless you've done something wrong on the entry in terms of like turning too early, but consider, let's say the line was good. If you end up wider on the exit, it's because you carried more speed. Do you agree? If you carry less speed, or you keep the steering it too, like, I mean, if you carry less speed in a corner like that, can be too risky. Either you lifted the gas and that's a mistake, or you basically kept the steering too locked, so you try to close it too much, and obviously you kill the momentum like that. So instead of being there, he's still here, and even though he will end up being there at the end, like he will end up being there, it's not as good as being there and staying there all the way through. I would speculate it's about 1/10.5 in terms of lap time loss in this corner because of that. That's what I typically see. So you have to use the curb, the whole track, not the curb, the extra part of the track beyond the curb, but early on, not at the end. Use it all, smash the brakes, which it doesn't, just too late on the throttle, and you don't like listen, in the normal track with normal corners you would want to use the curbs pretty much everywhere on the exit, but in this kind of case in Lonato we don't want to use this curb at all. We call this the first hairpin of Lonato, and also in the next corner we don't want to use there, because if you basically use the curb here, it's gonna kind of push you out here. It's not gonna allow you to actually bring it back to the white line as we want there. It's gonna be like pushing you out here. It's like dragging you to the left. It's not dragging you to the right. It's not helping you to get to the right. So this was a mistake, definitely. This typically costs about 1/10 every time you do that. So the goal is to get up until the white line here, and then to sharply, so this is your left tire on the white line maximum, and then sharply bring it back to the white line to the right. So that's another mistake. It does bring it back, okay, even though you use the curb, but still, believe me, every time you touch the curb in that corner there, you scrub speed, because you will always have to have more steering to bring it back. Same here, we don't want to touch this curb, but it does, because we have the same problem as the corner before. Here in Lonato it's always like that. If you touch this curb, that was not good driving at all. If you touch this curb over here, it's kind of dragging you here, so it's not like that really, but it's going to like pull you there, all right, instead of being on the white line which allows you to get back then to the next white line. Okay, so you understand what I'm saying. It's like, obviously if you touch the curb, it's kind of fooling you there. Obviously if you are aggressive and committed, you will still bring it back to the white line, of course, but you will lose time doing that because you have to do more distance, and obviously you have to use more steering wheel, so you kind of scrub speed there. In the last hairpin you have to use the curb there though. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Here there's a bit of a gap, which is not ideal, because here in the last corner Lonato you want to come all the way up until the white line, this area, but we're not, so there's like a full meter or like 50 centimeters of track that we left on the table, I would say. We went twice on the throttle, you can hear that they were like, ma'am, listen, ma'am. This is not good at all. Here we have to use the curve, and here is fine. You have to use 3/4 of the curve almost full. Here's fine. But it's not fine to go twice on the gas, that's not right. It's either because the first time you went too early on the gas and you had to back off, or it's because you simply didn't have the confidence to keep your foot in. Okay, this kid is clearly inexperienced. You can see it's not, I don't know this kid obviously, but in this corner, even though this corner is flat, right? There's turn 1 and 2 is flat there, but you should still think about it. Is this the right line? If you want to go into this corner, no, it's too tight. Ideally, you want to be here, fully to the right until the white line. All of this is going to make him scrub speed here and there and reduce the chance of doing it flat, because it's flat, for those who didn't know. Okay, so that's a mistake there. Look, for some reason, young kids have this, like inexperienced kids as well, have this problem, very, very common, that when somebody in front of them is doing a mistake, they kind of start doing the same thing the other kid is doing, start doing the same mistakes, and they don't really think with their own head, and it's like they have tunnel vision and they forget how to drive. Literally happens so many times, I see that. So if that's happening to you, don't worry, you're not the only one. So you can see this guy is being distracted by this kid missing the corner, missing the apex, doing a wrong line on the straight, and look how much space is giving up. It's huge, it's 1.5 car lengths. It's basically not allowing him to be here where he wants to be prepared. You say he's pushing him there. It may eventually still be end up preparing, but it's not good because he's picking up dirt, he's doing more meters, etc, etc. So you may not lose too much time here, but still it's not ideal. Why? I think he did it just because he got distracted by this kid. If he was alone, he would not have missed the corner, I'm sure. So let's continue. He makes a half move. Obviously, here it's quite risky to make it. I guess he tries to go around the outside, which it's not Formula 1, remember guys, Formula 1 you can go around the outside, in karting it's very unlikely. He's trying to go around the outside, and alright, he did it, but because the other kid is quite slow, it's very slow, but look how much he lost doing that. He lost so much time, I would speculate like a couple of seconds. Completely had to do like a wet line. Think about the apex is like there, and he even like got so much dirt on his tires. Look at that, so much dirt on the tires, you see. So it's not ideal for his performance. There's another mistake in here for the ones that know Lonato very well. You need to turn towards the end of the curb here. Okay, the turning point is here, this area. Okay, that's when you basically are following the curve all the way to the curb, and then bam, this is where you turn. You want to end up here, like a good 50 centimeters before the end of the curve. It turns in so much earlier. Look, you can see that the apex is here. I don't know if you can see it. It's there actually. It's going too early at the apex. He's gonna get stopped there. He will not be able to carry any minimum speed. If I had the data here. You see here, he will not have any good minimum speed. And he went so late on the throttle. I would speculate his minimum speed was like more than 10 kilometers less than the pro drivers, pro mini drivers. We missed completely the apex. And we missed it again. So it was not a very good session for this kid. it was, he needed to focus. It was obviously his first time in Lonato. I mean, I think it was his third day in Lonato, second day in Lonato. Still missed the apex there. But, you know, he's lifting here. Did you hear that? I mean, the point being is not to make fun or anything. It's just to literally try to look at some mistakes so that if you guys are doing the same, or if you do the same things in your racetrack, in your home track, whatever, then you are ideally trying to fix them. Look, he's lifting here. And he turns in earlier. You're not supposed to turn in that early. You're supposed to still be here to the left, brake deep, and turn later. So this kid has quite a few common problems, which is he brakes very soft, he turns in very early, he brakes soft and early, he turns in early, he still ends up missing the apex despite turning in early. Because you know why? Because when you brake soft, even if you brake early and you turn early, if you almost don't use the brakes, what happens? You're gonna be too fast in the end of the braking zone. Like in the end of the entry, you're gonna be too fast. So like approaching this area is gonna be too fast, even though he braked earlier, even though he turned in earlier, he's still gonna miss the apex because his speed is gonna be a little bit too much in that point of the track, which will make him miss the apex. So here he slightly misses it, not so much in this case, but I was just talking in terms of general trends I see from here. Alright, let's go forward. There's gonna be more mistakes coming up. Okay, yeah. So I remember this one. He was trying to overtake the kid in front, obviously very inexperienced kid. Look again what I was talking about. Like when he's chasing somebody, he basically not forgets how to drive, but he kind of starts getting distracted by the kid ahead, and he starts to drive even worse than he was. Look, here he completely missed the white line. That's where you're supposed to be on the exit. You're supposed to be here. Okay, but he's not. Giving up, I would say, 1 meter. Let's keep going. But let's see all of the mistakes he's gonna do because of the fact he's just following the other kid. He turns in super early. At least he ends up making the apex, where the other kid doesn't, but it's still too early. Scrubs too much speed on the exit with the steering. Too abrupt with the movement. Turns in way too early. And he doesn't use the track here. Again, our goal here is to get up build the white line. This is our turning point. Pump. This should be the corner. Instead, he turns in super early, and you'll see he'll still makes the apex because he's not on the right line, despite being early turning in. You see how bad the exit is? He kind of make a half move. He was like thinking about an overtake, but you don't attempt an overtake at the last minute, like randomly. You need to set up a move. Look how far he was here. Okay, the other kid was quite slow, but you need to set up a move. Maybe, okay, he was a little bit in panic because the other kid was so slow at the apex, but look how much he lost. He lost too much time. He was late on the gas. The other kid misses the apex. I don't understand why our white helmet kid here is missing a bit the white line. Is missing completely the apex here. Not sure why. Completely misses it. And he's almost like lifting. Look at the exhaust, what he's gonna do to the exhaust now. After I play the video again. Seems like he's like lifting, because when you lift, basically there's some smoke coming out of the exhaust because of the fuel burning. See that? You see the blue fume I was talking about? He lifted for some reason, I don't know why. It's an easy flat corner. And that's why he closed up on him, and the kid here in question in the onboard is lifting. I don't know why. He just stay flat to the inside and overtake him. Okay, so here's what an inexperienced kid does. He's not using the track. Look at him with his front left tires there. He's supposed to be here, giving up like almost a car length, and that's a lot of time. So you can see the fundamentals are fundamentals, guys. Using the track is paramount important. He's not even using the track on the exit. Yeah, he gets a good exit. I mean, I think we had a good engine that time, to be honest. But you see, he's trying to pass him. He's already been almost a full lap, and he cannot pass him. Doesn't set up the overtake properly. Tries to make an undercut on the exit. You know, you will not. The next corner is left. You cannot try to pass on the outside. I remember it's not Formula 1. So we have also this quite a big mistake that he is doing, is like forgetting that it's go-kart is not Formula 1. Can't really overtake on the outside. So this is another mistake from this kid. Look at his helmet. It's completely facing down. Okay, whereas it should be like this. Alright? So that's okay, when you're inexperienced it tends to happen, but you should try to stay firm when you're driving with the go-kart. Okay, you can lean a little bit out, you can lean a little bit in, that's fine, but you cannot do it so much. Okay, so it's very important that when you do that, you are aware that that's wrong, and you should correct it. Ideally, you should stay nice and firm on the go-kart. Okay, and look how early he's turning in. It's like where his head is going, his steering is going, and he's looking at the apex, and at the same time he's turning in, giving up so much time in the process. So yeah, clearly a mistake there. But look at this kid, like our kid in the video. As I said before, he's looking at the guy in front, and he does more mistakes because he's getting distracted. Look how much is missing this apex from here. It's supposed to be on the white line, and now I don't know what was that, but he completely missed the apex again. I mean, look how much that is. It's like 4 car lengths, 3 car lengths. It's huge. We're completely on the dirty side. Look, here is blackish, it's dark. Here it's gray, whitish. So there's no grip here. So it took so long, you know, to get him past this kid. Eventually, he actually lets him pass. Actually, I'm gonna play this for you. He starts to underdrive, starts to be cautious, he starts to brake early, follows him, tries to go around the outside again. You can simply go here on the inside, but it doesn't. Kept trying to pass it on the outside. You can go on the inside now, but it doesn't. Thankfully, the key in front lets him pass. But you see how many mistakes there were analyzed in this video. Okay, of course, both of the kids were quite experienced. For one of the first times in Lonato, I would say, for both of them. But you see how many things you can learn even looking at these things. Obviously, if you're already at a high level, then you shouldn't be looking at this, I mean, too much. But if you're really in that kind of beginner to intermediate level, I would say this is very valuable. And all of the things we touched on this, I think are going to help you so much. Because okay, we're not analyzing your own video, but looking at other people's videos, other drivers' videos that may be in your similar situation. They may have the similar, because you know the mistakes are the common mistakes are a few. You know, there's not too many. It's like braking issues, you know, braking too early, braking too soft, turning issues, so turning in too early most of the times, I would say. Apex misses in the apex. Then it's also like track usage on the entry, track usage on the exit, you know, then overtaking issues. So we touched a lot of mistakes, almost most of the mistakes here, and so that allowed us, I guess, to have a good picture of what we can do to improve, especially here on Lonato. All right, guys, please write a comment below if you have any questions, or if you want to have any kind of video ideas that you would like me to shoot, or if you have a video you would like to send me and to try out, then please do. I'll be happy to analyze it and make a video out of it. All right, see you guys.